Hello YouTube. So today I'm going to be starting a series on creating a top-down shooter in GameMaker Studio. I'm using Professional Edition, so I'm actually not sure if you need Professional or if you need the free. It should work with both, as far as I know. So I haven't really done anything. I started recording, but then I had to end it. So all I did basically is I created a simple player sprite. You want to make sure it's facing right. So I just drew a little line there just to indicate. So once you're done that, hit OK. Mine's 36 by 36. Be any size you want, as long as you'll be able to fit through doors. So now we're going to center the origin, and then we're going to hit OK. So we have a player sprite. Now I'm going to make a super basic wall sprite. And this will be 32 by 32. Actually, no, let's not do that. We're going to rename this to SBR Collision. So we call it SBR Collision. Now we're going to make two images. One of them is going to be a red cross, and the other one is going to be blank. So I'm just going to go like that. This is just so we know in the editor that it's a collision. So there we go. We have collision and then blank, so it's two. Now we're going to leave that to 0 and 0. Save. Oh, and make sure the mask is set to rectangle, automatic rectangle. I want to make sure it's the same for both images, which it is because it's dark. So I'm going to hit OK. Whoops. So now we're going to save that. Now we're going to go to create a background, and I'm going to call this BG tile set. So instead of making a bunch of sprites for different types of blocks, we're going to create a tile set. So I'm going to have probably, depending on how many blocks you're going to have, I'm probably going to have 9. So that would be 96 by 96, I believe. Yes. So now we can start. So I'm just going to create grass. I'm not going to texture these. They're just going to be straight colors. You can make them whatever you want. Let's try to make this. So make sure that each tile is 32 by 32. To make sure that is, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dunk that black. And if it fits exactly 3 across the screen, we know that we have sized it properly. And in this case, we didn't. So I'm going to take off 2. You know what? What I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to go into Google Images and grab some pictures, because this is a bit harder. So you always want to make sure you search, when you're looking for a texture, search the size next to it. I'm doing this so I know that I'm going to get 32 by 32, and look at all these. Perfect. So copy this one. By the way, none of these sprites are mine, obviously. So now we're going to go, which basically we're going to search for the textures that we want, and then we're going to use them. Okay, so not gravel, brick. We do want to get a brick texture. I don't know if I want those two. Yeah, I guess I'll use this one. Let's go. Some concrete. Here we go. This should do the trick. And now we're gonna go You don't have to do this. I'm just doing this so I can darken it instead of opening up Photoshop. I'm actually gonna make my own road texture. So just set the color to kind of a pretty dark and 184. I'm gonna blur it. Not the best texture in the world, but it'll do. So that's all the textures we're gonna add for now. We'll probably add more later. So we have grass, dirt, brick, concrete, and road. Actually, for the concrete, I'm gonna add a border because it's gonna act as sidewalk. So that's fairly easy. You just darken it and then draw a border around it. So now we have our basic textures, probably as basic as you're gonna get. So now once you've done this, you want to make sure this is like a must. You're gonna have to hit use as tile set. Tile width is 32, tile height is 32. Don't screw with these, because that will mess it up. You make sure these all are 0, unless you add gaps and stuff between them. But I find that it gets confusing and off-centered, and it screws everything up. So now I'm going to create a new object, and we're going to go obj player. And we're going to create another object called obj controller. So once you, we can close up that now. So once you have object controller, we're going to go to controller, create. So I'm going to create some variables. We're going to go global dot HP equals 100. Global. We're not going to do the HP. Don't do the HP. We're going to go global dot round equal, no, not round. We're not doing a zombie top down. We will later on. We'll probably add that in. But ammo, so global ammo. So we're gonna pick a default ammo. We're gonna start off with a pistol. So for your pistol, probably I'm gonna say 96. Global dot what other variables do we need? We have ammo. Oh, kills equals 0. So basically that's all we're gonna have for now. And now we're gonna add draw. Or draw. And we're gonna add some code in here. So the code that we're gonna add in the draw event is basically we're just gonna draw our FPS to the corner of the screen. So we're gonna go draw text view x view. You want to make sure you put this x view, and then in the square brackets put 0 plus 4. View y view, and then in square brackets 0 plus 4. And then our string here, we're going to go FPS colon space plus string FPS. So that's going to draw our frames per second to the screen. So actually now we're going to go draw text view. You always want to make sure when you're drawing something to the screen it follows the view. So we're in front of our before we want it. Before we put the position, this is going to be relative to our view. We're going to go x view. Always make sure it's the 0 there, plus, and then we're going to go 4. View, y view, 0, plus 32. And then we're going to go, we're going to draw a string, global.ammo. It's going to draw ammo to the screen. So hit OK on that. Actually, we're going to go back here, and we're going to go at the very top, draw, set, font, going to go FNT GUI. And I'm going to go draw set color. You can pick a color. Our background is going to be probably pretty dark, so I'm going to go C white. So now we're going to add a font in, and we're going to call it FNT GUI. So now we're going to choose the font we want. I'm going to use Courier New. I'm going to leave, I'll set the size to 14. And I'm going to bold. Okay. So now that we have that, we're going to work on our player. So we're going to go straight to the, we're going to make a create event and add a piece of code, and we're going to set health equals 100. Now we're going to add a step event. And under here, we're going to create some control variables. So under player 1 controls, we're going to make some variables. So I'm going to go left pressed equals, this is just so we don't have to we don't have to make a bunch more code than we have to, but we're going to make some variables. So let's go left pressed equals keyboard check direct VK, or no, ORD A. We're going to use WASD controls, so WASD space and then our mouse. So we're going to copy that 4 times. So, and then we're going to change this to right. So right would be D, up would be W, and down would be S. So we have those variables. We're going to go down and we're going to make some more variables. I'm going to go mouse L, keyboard. So we're going to go mouse LP equals keyboard. So what this stands for is mouse left button pressed equals mouse check button pressed. And then we're going to go MB left. And we're going to copy that 4 times. So we're going to go released. And we're going to go right, released, and actually we're going to do that again. We're going to copy this 1 more time for each of them, but we're going to change this to H, so that's holding it. If you hold it, that's what's going to happen. Actually, we don't, yeah, we'll leave that in for now. So now we have some basic controls, so now we have to make them do stuff. So we're going to go direction equals point direction, and then we're going to set that to X, Y, mouse, X, and mouse, Y. That's basically, it's going to make the player point towards where your mouse is at. So underneath that, we're going to go image angle equals direction. Let's see what our time is. 14 minutes. Still got time. So now we're going to go down here. If left, or if up pressed, we're going to set the speed equals, let's make them go 1.5. If down pressed, speed equals minus 1.5. So we're going to go backwards. If left pressed, we're going to go X minus equals 1.5, or we're going to make them move slower, so let's go 1. If, and that's not supposed to be like that. if right pressed x plus equals 1. So we have pretty basic movement set up. So we're going to go ahead and save that. We're going to make sure our sprite is set to player. Just hit OK. So I'm going to create a room. First thing you want to do when you get to the room is set the speed to 60. So that means that we're going to set the maximum frame rate to 60. So because otherwise our player is going to move really slow. Not because it's lagging, but because we're making the game to have higher frames. So now we're going to go views, enable use of views. Visible movement starts, make sure it's view 0. And now we're going to make the view, we're actually going to leave that. We're going to leave those. Object following is going to be obj player, and we're going to divide the width by 2, which is 320, and the height by 2, which is 240. So now that we've got that, we can make our map a lot bigger. So let's go 10, 5, 36. No, that's too big. Let's go 1024 for now. 24. So that's not too big, but it's not too small. So now we're going to go obj controller, put the controller in the form, and then we're going to put the player in here. Save that. So now we can start editing our map a little bit. So we have some grass here. So now we just make some. I'm trying to do this fairly quickly. So what this does basically is you can make why we're using tile sheets instead of objects is because tile sheets aren't filling your form up with objects, and objects will make your form lag. Tile sheet is basically just drawing sprites instead of drawing entire objects with functions. So it will prevent lag from when either we have a lot of players playing or we have a lot of zombies spawning, depending on what you're going to be basing yours off of. The form isn't going to lag, and we're also going to make it very flexible. So I've got really basic map done. Save that. So I'm going to run it. Make sure you have obj player and obj controller in the form. Now if you run the game, we have an error. So right pressed. So that's line 30 on our obj player in the step event. Oh, that's because this is a capital. Let's make that non-capitalized. Now let's try that again. So as you can see, follows. The frame rate is very low because of the fact that I'm recording. Usually your frame rate is going to be around 60. Now we have to make it stop. As you can see, I'm not pressing a button and it's still moving. So that was actually a little whoopsie that I made. We need to change all these from direct to pressed. Only on the left, right, up, and down. So let's try that one more time. As you can see, it's not stopping, so let's go. Oh, we need to add some released. Let's go down. Now I'm going to change where it says pressed to released. That was my bad. Sorry. I forgot we had to do that. I thought it would work. So let's change those to released. So now I'm going to create some more. We're going to go if left released, or no, up. We're going to start with up first. Released. So if we release the up, so if we release the up key, we want speed to equal 0. So we're going to copy that. Whoops. And then we're going to change that to down. So if you release down, copy that 2 more times, and let's change these to left. And right. Sorry, the reason I'm screwing up is because I'm rushing, and I shouldn't be rushing. But I only have a certain amount of time. So we're at 20 minutes, yeah. So I'm going to have to end the tutorial here. Currently not working. So that is it. See you in the next tutorial. We're going to fix that problem.